Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi to everybody. My name is Macroeconomics and I am from ECO211.
Hi everyone, my name is Muhammad bin Roslim.
Hi, my name is Muhammad FAKHRUDDin bin Muhammad ZAIN from SC1104F.
Hi, I'm Muhammad bin NIZAR.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Danial bin RASIDI. We are from AC1104F. This is our ECO211 presentation. Our topic is macroeconomic goals and our country is Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Sarajevo, Rogatica, Višegrad, Vlasenica, tu mi leže pokraj srca. Zvornik Tuzla, Kalesija, Devetak i seljak, svaki borac veseljak. Artiljerija, Bosanac sam Beglija, artiljerija, Bosanac sam Beglija. Moja Bosna ponosna.
Bosnia and Herzegovina, sometimes called Bosnia-Herzegovina and often known informally as Bosnia, is a country in South and Southwest Europe located within the Balkans. Sarajevo is the capital and largest city. According to World Bank database, Bosnia and Herzegovina has 3,301,000 population in 2019. Bosnia and Herzegovina are a developing country and ranks 73rd in human development. Its economy is dominated by the industry and agriculture sectors, followed by the tourism and service sectors, the former of which has seen a significant rise in recent years. According to projections by the World Tourism Organization, Bosnia and Herzegovina will have the third highest tourism growth rate in the world between 1995 and 2020. National Geographic magazine named Bosnia and Herzegovina as the best mountain biking adventure destination for 2012. Let's talk about macroeconomics first. Macroeconomics can be defined as a branch of economics that studies decision making for the economy as a whole. Macroeconomics is concerned with the aggregate level behavior, which makes it distinctly different from microeconomics. Aggregate is a term macroeconomics that refers to the sum or total. For example, macroeconomics focus on national income, aggregate consumption, aggregate investment, total employment, and the overall level of prices. In other words, macroeconomics refers to the study of the overall performance of the economy. Every economy should be reliant on its strong macroeconomic fundamentals, which can be achieved by focusing on its macroeconomics objective to ensure long-term economic stability. Economist outlines four major economic goals that should be achieved by every nation to maximize the standard of living and achieve stable economic growth. They are economic growth, full employment, price stability, and equilibrium in foreign sector. Today, we will be talking about how Bosnia and Herzegovina are doing in achieving these four major macroeconomic goals.
The first major macroeconomic goal is economic growth. Economic growth can be described as an expansion in national output over a given period of time. Economic growth can be measured by calculating the percentage increase in national income for the current period as compared to the previous period. Another way to define economic growth is an increase in a country's total output or gross domestic product, which also known as GDP. The economy must be operating at an optimum capacity to get higher economic growth. The objective of the central bank and the government would be an increase in economic growth without a rise in the inflation rate. economists say that economic growth of a nation will not move constantly, but instead will experience short terms up and down, which we call it business cycle. In 2019, Bosnia and Herzegovina recorded gross domestic product, or we call it GDP, at 2.68%. Its economic growth is actually decreasing because in 2018, its GDP was 3.74%. It recorded a recession of 1.06%. This recession can cause laid-off workers and create unemployment crisis. In 2009 and 2012, Bosnia and Herzegovina were pushed into recession because of the global economic crisis. One of the reasons why Bosnia and Herzegovina's economy is a bit off balance is because they have an economy based on consumption rather than production. To create prosperity, they must shift toward an economic model built on production of goods and service rather than consumption.
The next major macroeconomic goal is full employment. Full employment is an economic situation in which all available labor resources are being used in the most efficient way possible. An economy should use all of its resources more efficiently to attain maximum output. The more resources employed, the higher the output of goods and services. If there is unemployment, it means that an available resource is not being used. This indicates inefficiency and a waste of resources. As we can see, the unemployment rate in Bosnia and Herzegovina for 2019 is 18.4%. Based on this data, we can see that Bosnia and Herzegovina did not achieve the full employment, which is 4%. Is the rate to be considered full employment. Throughout on every year, we can see that Bosnia and Herzegovina has a problem to achieve full employment. Bosnia and Herzegovina have a high unemployment rate because of widespread corruption, nepotism, and economic stagnation. Through it all, the wounds of war are ever present.
I will present about price stability. Price stability is to keep its inflation rate as low as possible. Inflation occurs when there is an increase in the general price level. Inflation can reduce the purchasing power of consumers. Inflation can lead to income not rising as fast as prices, thereby penalizing certain group of people such as pensioners and fixed income earners. Central bank would like to keep the growth of the rate at which price increase at low rates. In 2020, inflation rates of Bosnia are recorded at -1.05%. This is good because it means the price level of goods in Bosnia is actually lower than before. However, in 2008, it records the highest inflation rate, which is 7.43%. What is cause of inflation in Bosnia and Herzegovina? Global energy and food price shock contributed disproportionately to the pickup in inflation in Bosnia and Herzegovina. About 3/4 of the 8.2% rise in the CPI in 12 months to May 2008 can be attributed to energy and food price, and only 1/4 of that increase to other factors.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad IMRAN bin KAMARUZZAMAN and I am here to explain the equilibrium in foreign sectors. Foreign sector refers to economic transaction or activities that take beyond the political boundaries. It includes the transactions such as import and exports, investment in other countries, and inter-country tourism. A country will try to get an overall surplus of balance of payment, which is called by BOP, that indicates greater inflow than outflow of money. Balance of payment is a statement that records all the transactions between one country and the rest of the world. If a country faces a BOP deficit, it means that the country will have to borrow from other countries, whereas a prolonged BOP surplus will lead to inflation. Bosnia and Herzegovina records negative 600 million and 623,861,251 dollars of current account balance, also known as balance of payment, in 2019. This means Bosnia have to borrow from other countries this low rate of balance of payment because of an underperforming export sector. Bosnia's exports are worth only 30% of GDP, one of the lowest in Europe and a sign of the country's weak competitiveness. This stems from the poor business climate, high cost of employment, and poor transport connections.
In this video, we have discussed about 4 major macroeconomics goals, which are economic growth, full employment, price stability, and equilibrium in foreign sector.
We can conclude that Bosnia is still struggling to achieve these 4 goals.
Bosnia need to take action to overcome their problems and try to achieve the goals to have good standard of living and economy.
We hope our research and presentation help you understand more about the macroeconomic goals and the economic situation in Bosnia.